Alright, hi, welcome to part 7. For this video, I'm going to be painting the silvers. So it's going to be pretty simple. As I discussed in the 5th video, the one where we were choosing the colors. For the silvers, I'm just going to go with gloss black, followed by some hyper silver. It's really simple to do. All you gotta do first is put the gloss black primer on. So we're gonna do that for a couple of parts right now. And then after that we can move on to the hyper silver after cleaning the airbrush. Alright. So like in the previous video, go for a light misting first. After you're done with the light misting, you can go in for the kill and get a nice even coat. Make sure it's all shiny. Make sure not to overdo it too. And get too thick of paint layer. Alright, so that's the way it looks like. You can see, nice and shiny. Alright, so let's do 2 more. So just gotta mist this. And it looks like I'm running low in paint, so I'm gonna have to put some more. Alright, that should do it for 2 parts. Alright, so you just mist it. After you're done misting it, go in for the kill. Go in for a slightly darker, shinier color. Make sure you get every part. And you don't miss any of those edges or tiny corners where the airbrush sometimes misses. Alright, we're done with this one. Check it out. See? Perfectly shiny. And finally we got this one. Nice flat piece. So I chose pieces that are different in shape, so that it's a lot easier for us to see like the effect of the paint on various surfaces and various curvatures. So alright, done misting. Now we just go for the kill. Alright, and we are done with this one too. Alright. Now I'm gonna do something that I shouldn't have done, which is, I did something which I shouldn't have done, which is put too much paint. So now I'm gonna have to pop open the bottle and pour the paint back in. See, that's what you get when you get a little bit lazy. And you gotta do some work and you lose like a little bit of paint, you know. It's fine. I mean, we all get lazy sometimes, right? Alright. So now we're done with gloss black. And the parts are drying. So while the parts are drying, I'm gonna go clean up the airbrush. So for that, I've just got some tissue, a little bit of thinner in a syringe. I don't like it when like there's paint on the airbrush cup outside, so I do that first. Make sure it's like nice and clean. Alright. Then I put in some thinner into the cup. Got me a handy little brush. Brush it around. Get as much of it as I can. Alright. Toss it out. Then shove some tissue in there and clean it out. Now while I'm doing this, I also like to put a drop or two of thinner on the tip of the brush. There you go. Get my paintbrush and just swirl it around. Keeps the tip nice and clean. And saves you a lot of headaches later because it's really hard to clean that small space over there. And I don't like soaking my airbrushes for like overnight. You know, I mean, who has time for that, right? Alright. Now, do another thinner. Cover up the tip so that the air flows back. And you can see there's still some black in it. There's still some residue of the paint. And you just dump that out. And just keep repeating these steps until when you spray your airbrush, it comes out clean. So there you go. Nice and clean. Okay, now to use my airbrush pot, just so you know, there aren't that many fumes. Alright. That is good. So next up, we're going to be using some Hyper Silver. And then we're going to be coating the black gloss primer to give it a metallic look. So shake up the bottle first. Always shake up the bottle because you know the paint separates from the carrying liquid, and you normally get really bad results if you don't shake it up. All right. So now let's put some Hyper Silver into the airbrush. Alright. And we follow the same process basically. So you have your black. We missed it slightly. And just so not to shock the paint. But the difference is I don't tend to go heavy on the silver. I like doing very light coats until I get the color I want. Now as you can see here, that is a pretty good color. It looks really nice, kind of chromed out, very silver. But I'd like to go a little further, just slightly further. Maybe just like one more pass, light pass, and make sure to get the bottom. We're done with this piece. So here you go. So it looks nice and metallic, nice and silver. A very far cry from the black it used to be. Alright, so let me put this aside, move on to the next. So same process. Missed it a bit, so that's not to shock the paint. Alright, then give it very light coats until we get the color we want. So sometimes it takes a little longer, sometimes it takes a little shorter, depending on the part. But you just have to be very patient. Oops, we're out of silver. Gotta put some more in. You just have to be very patient, and eventually you'll get that color you want. Okay, now it's still a little bit too dark for me, so I'm gonna keep putting on layers. Alright. Gotta get it in those crevices. And make sure everything's nice and even. Yeah, just one more coat. One more coat wouldn't hurt. Alright, there you go. One thing I like to do is look at my previous painted one and compare the colors to make sure that they're more or less the same. Alright. Yeah, it looks more or less the same. So here's a close-up look of it. So you can see it's nice and shiny. Looks like brushed metal. And finally, we've got the last piece, the flat one. As usual, we missed it. After missing it, then okay, we're out of paint again. Alright, just a little bit of paint. So we missed it. Then we add light layers of paint until we get the color we want. Now this is still a little too dark. Gotta keep adding a little bit more. And okay, maybe a few drops more and we're done. Okay. Just a few drops. And we're done. And there you go. You can see it's a nice silver color. And everything's more or less even in terms of coloration. There you go. And that's how we do silvers. So for the next video, I'm going to be doing reds, which is pretty much the same process. But, you know, might as well film it, so in case you'll be painting any metallics, it would really help. So, like and subscribe my channel if you enjoy the content, and expect more content in the future. Thank you very much for tuning in, and look out next for the red. Bye!